Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend, and I have an amazing interview lined up for you today. He's been making the circuit here for a while because he just released a book, and we're going to talk about that book and lots of other things. But I have the incomparable, amazing Wally Safford here with me. Thank you for coming on the show, Wally.
My pleasure. My
Definitely,
pleasure.
man. I want to start off real quick with just letting everybody know, me and you, we met like about a year ago
Yes.
and kind of how all of that happened. Well, I mean, we technically met about a year and a half ago. So I went to Celebration and I went to the Maite panel.
Mm-hmm.
And that was where I ended up meeting you. And I was just like, I mean, you were great the whole weekend. But
I make it do what it do.
You certainly do. But I remember, like, I got up and I was just like, "Hey, Wally," and you're like, "Hey, man." And I asked my question, and I actually got up and asked the second question. But I really love the way that you just held it down, like during that interview. You were just like, "Look, y'all, don't be coming up here and asking no like BS questions or anything."
Well, I didn't want, for sister to be uncomfortable on the stage and
Yeah.
she get bombarded with a bunch of questions. And like I said, that was his wife.
Right.
That was his
Right.
wife, so I just wanted to keep it in perspective.
Right. And like and she was alone on the stage too. So like all the
Yes.
questions were going to be directed at her. She didn't have anybody else to kind of use as a buffer or anything.
Right, right,
So
right.
yeah.
So I was there. I was her assistant and protector.
Exactly. And I felt that too. I was just like, man, I got to watch my questions over here.
It was
Um,
all good, man.
but then we officially like really met.
And
We met when we
and
went to the Moody Man
yes,
concert, and
that's
that was about
right.
a year ago.
Yes, that was a great
Yeah.
party.
Oh man, it was really good. He actually he like invited us out to Paisley,
Yes,
and like he played some amazing tracks.
yes, he
Um,
did. Oh, that's my guy, Kenny.
oh
Kenny
yeah,
Dixon
Kenny.
Jr. Yes,
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Moody,
And I mean,
Moody
because he's
man.
Detroit. He's Detroit,
Yes,
right?
sir. That's right. Detroit connection.
But he invited us out, and I ended up meeting not only you, but like a ton of other amazing people.
Well,
Uh,
that was a great group of
it
people.
really was, right? We went out
Mm-hmm.
to lunch and you were
Yes.
telling tons of stories.
Right.
Um, and then at the concert, you like dropped it and you were just like, you know what? I'm also working on a book. And I was just like, wait, what? That sounds pretty cool. That was kind of our connection. And we just kind of like hit it off. You know, you're cool. I believe that I am, half cool at least.
Oh, you cool.
So,
You good. You good guy, man. You're a
oh,
good guy.
okay.
You're a great guy.
It sounds less conceited if you say it than if I was to say like, oh, no, obviously I'm cool.
Yeah,
Um,
well, you cool. You cool like they condensate. You condensate. You
oh
don't even
yes,
sweat. You don't
condensate.
even sweat.
Tell us a little bit about the book. Like, let's go ahead and start off with the like the pitch. Like, what's the book?
It's my memoirs. I was contemplating on doing this book for about 10 years. I mean, when Prince was alive, and friends of mine, ex co-workers, kept saying, "Man, you should do the book. You should do the book." When I was just telling them a few stories, and they were like, "Oh man, you should write a book. You should write a book." So that kept going, and you should write a book. So I said, "Well, yeah, I guess I might as well write a book." When Prince passing, I said, "Well, maybe I need to do a book now." So we're talking about doing the book, and the book is here, and I just finally just put the book into perspective and met this amazing sister out of Chicago, Margina Christian. And I was introduced to her by a friend of mine, David Milliner, and the rest is history. I mean, the book was completed. We worked on that book for about a year. We talked, every Friday, and I just talked into a tape recording. She translated it, and the rest, and it went from there.
That's interesting because a lot of people don't really understand the
The
process of
concept,
writing a book.
right? Yeah. So it's the title of the book is Wally, Where You Get Those Glasses: My
Hmm.
Life Through the Lens of Pendergrass, Parliament. I mean Parliament, Pendergrass, and Prince. So, I have
Right.
worked with some amazing artists through my lifetime, and I just wanted to tell my story. As my coming up as a child, and the Nation of Islam and everything. Just telling my story.
Yeah.
It wasn't just an all Prince book. So I wanted to give
Exactly.
the Prince fans something a little different. That was my whole purpose of doing the book.
And you kind of mentioned it a little bit. You said kind of with Prince's passing, the urge to write your book came up
Yes.
more.
Yes,
But like,
because
was there an actual catalyst that like got you like, off of your kind of maybe I'll do it to like I'm doing it now? Like, was there something that made you do that?
well, no, it was I was still up in the air with it, like maybe, maybe not. I did a interview with Michael Dean. You know Michael Dean.
Yeah.
I did an interview with him, and I talked to him I talked to his show, and he was like, "Well, yeah, a book, that's pretty cool." So we had talked. I had just kind of touched on some of the artists I had worked with,
Mm-hmm.
and with Prince being the icing on the cake. Brother was truly amazing. I mean, I've never met. He wasn't from this planet. He was from another planet. This guy was a modern day Mozart.
Yeah.
He was so creative. Slept a few hours, didn't sleep long. So everybody around him didn't sleep. They just took naps. So so sleep deprivation was normal. So that was him. So you just sleepwalking like zombies.
Yeah.
That was the norm for then. So I was with him at the peak of his career from 79 to 88. Like I said, Dirty Mind, Controversy, 1999, Purple Rain, Parade, Sign of the Times, so it was just bam around the world in a day. It was just, then, like I said, with Prince, he had to take a liking to you. He had to warm up to you before he actually started speaking to you. So it took a minute for him to even get adjusted. We started even talking. So, but we eventually became best friends. And, like I said, that's my brother, and friend first and brother second, so he's truly been missed. I can tell, because I would have never met you had he not passed.
Oh yeah.
So I look at all the good work. So I'm past the crying stage. So now I'm looking at all the good things he done that brought all these great people together like yourself. And, I would have never met you guys had he not passed. And the other beautiful Purple community that was at the celebration, because, all for one, love for all, one love for one another, that was his
Yeah.
thing. And, brother's gone and he's still doing the work. That's truly amazing. Because, the way I look at it, the celebration, that's just his repast still continuing.
Yes.
They across the street at the park. They got chicken bones, rib bones in the parking lot. The celebrations, the repast is still going on. So that's a beautiful thing. So, but his spirit lives with us.
And that's honestly that's one of the things that I've kind of really enjoyed is having the people who, when Prince was alive, like there wasn't a whole lot of discussion because Prince was very private and
Yes.
all of those things. But like I actually have been really enjoying that. More people like you, people like Maite, you guys are coming out and you are kind of saying like I kind of showing a little bit more of the human side of what Prince was because he created this mystique and this mystery around himself.
But that was the whole catch.
But at the same time, like you even said, like in your words, he's an alien. So
well, like I said, he was something different. Like I say, modern day Mozart. The great Casanova, Rudolph Valentino. He was all that rolled up in one. The greatest romance that ever been told. That would be him. This brother. He had a beautiful spirit and he loved beautiful women.
Definitely. So you said that you were with him from 79
to 88. Yes, sir.
That's a long time.
Well,
now,
that was the peak of his career.
What was the catalyst that started it where he started having dancing bodyguards? Because that's honestly the first time I saw you was the dancing bodyguard.
The Syracuse show in New York. Well, like I said, brother was very creative. Hey, I hadn't been on the stage before. Syracuse, the Carrier Dome is pretty big.
Oh yeah.
That's not a small place. I mean, I don't even know how many people it holds. It seemed like hundreds of thousands of people, but I know it was a lot of people in there. And that stage was huge. And so, he created that whole persona, when Baby I'm a Star,
Mm-hmm.
So, we came out with Sheila E.'s band and the Revolution, and you got Eddie M on the piano and the saxophone. That stage was real busy. You got Juan and Sheila on the percussion, and he put that Latin spin on it, that Latin sauce on it, Put that little sauce on it. You know how you do. Put it in the pot and cook it and get it while it's hot. So, he had it hot. He had it hot and jumping up there. You had Susie up there. Carl Perazzo. Miko. He had it jumping.
Oh yeah.
So
Was that the reason? Was like he was like at the end of the show, I just want I want to fill the whole thing like it's a P-Funk concert or something.
I don't know what his concept was, but I let the baker bake the bread, bro. I just take it out the oven and put a little butter on it. Ain't nothing but a muffin, got a whole lot of butter to go. So, hey, let the cook it. So I'm just like, hey, brother, I'm rolling with you. So I will become the dancing security, not a problem.
How did it actually kind of go from just dancing security kind of as like a one-off during the Purple Rain tour to you actually being on stage and performing with them regularly?
A lot of people didn't know. Me, Jerome was already there, but me, Greg, Alan Flowers, Jonathan Melvoin, David Coleman, and Billy Carruthers, we was with the family band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were in the family. Yep, and Miko.
Yeah, Miko was, yeah.
Right, Miko, myself, Alan Flowers on bass, me and Greg Brooks and Jerome, Billy Carruthers on keyboard, Jonathan Melvoin on keyboards, and David Coleman on cello. Screams of Passion. So we were rehearsing for a tour with Sheila E., but, that got canned because St. Paul, he was going solo. So Prince took us and put us with the Revolution. We flew to south of France. Jelly Bean came and told me. He said, man, it's over. I'm like, what? He said, well, St. Paul quit. Prince taking y'all, you, Miko, and Greg, and Jerome with him, And and it got a little funky, that's all. Put a little oomph on it, He put a little funk on it. Miko had that chicken grease,
Yeah.
Get it hot while it's in the pot.
Now, when do you think, around when did your working relationship kind of turn to more of a friendship with Prince?
Well, that's when I was his bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he ain't did too many songs like Wally.
Yeah.
Well, that's self-explanatory.
Exactly.
He didn't do too many songs about everybody. It was only two great ones, Aloy. It was Ali, then it was Wally. Ali was the greatest, and here I come with the latest. So, so Prince, I vibed with the brother, because my birthday, November the 10th, his mother, Maddie Baker, birthday, November the 11th, and his wife, Maite, was November the 12th. And Gia, her daughter's birthday is the 12th.
Oh,
so
wow.
There you go. It's in divine order, 10, 11, 12.
And what sign is that?
Scorpio.
So there must be something with Geminis and Scorpios or something.
Yes, something in the water does not compute, but that did
exactly.
compute.
Was there ever a moment where, because if you kind of have the stance of, let the baker bake the bread. I love that.
Yes.
Was there ever a moment where, because technically you guys were really good friends, but you still were working for him.
Absolutely.
Was there ever a moment where those kind of relationships clashed with each other?
No, not really. You just got to remember what lane you need to stay in. So I was always security.
Yeah.
Dance security on stage and off stage. So I didn't get it twisted. I didn't let the jelly get on the jam. So
right. So at no point did you stop being security. You were always security the whole time, even when you were performing on stage.
Yes,
he was still expecting you to be the bouncer.
Well, I just had brothers back. When they brought people up on the stage, they a lot of them get and the friend they got kind of close, but brother was so elusive. He slipped through an eel through seaweed. He slithered his way out of stuff, but I always had his back. So
yeah, that's awesome.
That's what real friends do. So at the end of the day, it's priceless.
there's actually a thing, right, with Prince and his relationship to Detroit.
Well, that's
Because
what I'm
like,
saying. It's me again,
yeah.
Wally. Oft imitated, never duplicated. It's Detroit was his testing ground.
Okay.
Yeah, because he came with Morris Day and a time. They changed the name, Yah Saram. That's Morris spelled backwards. Morris Day spelled backwards.
Oh.
So he came as Yah Saram with Vanity Six, so sweet. Nasty girl. It was hot and popping.
But that relationship with Detroit like continued for like a number of years, right?
Oh yeah, because him and Mojo was tight. Yeah, they was tight like Ike. But Mojo, he broke his records. Because see, when Prince first performed in Detroit, when he opened up for Rick James,
Mm-hmm.
he told me himself out his own mouth is that the crowd was like, "Yeah, you belong to us." So he always said that. So he felt real comfortable coming to Detroit, and then he introduced the Purple Gang to the crowd. That was us.
Right.
He named us that. So that was me, Greg Brooks, Mitchell James, Noor Muhammad, and Abdul.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, right? Is that a lot of people they know you again. Like it's interesting in the role of security. Like the whole thing about security and being a bodyguard. Well, bodyguard's a little bit different, but security's like you're not necessarily supposed to stand out. You're supposed to be there. You only stand out if something goes wrong, really.
Well, absolutely. My goal was nothing was going to ever go wrong. So
right.
You diffuse situations. That was my goal.
Right.
Before I got into a situation, you diffuse the situation.
Right. But I mean, but what most of us know of you is Seven Times. So how was that though? Because you and like Greg and and Kat and like all of you were coming from kind of like humble roots and whatnot. Like what was like what was that like kind of being?
Well, I'm R&B. I'm real black, so I always stay the same. It doesn't change in the game. So
definitely.
Like I said, I keep myself grounded.
So how was that though? With like kind of that raise, like you were now on stage, people were like Wally, shouting your name,
and I hollered their name back. Family. The best part of the show when he played DMSR and he would cut the lights up and everybody would go crazy. That was something, I mean, the adrenaline from the crowds over in Europe. You play in stadiums. You in Yokohama Stadium in Japan. Osaka and Tokyo, and you overall in Europe and at Kobo, that birthday show. Now before we did that birthday show, he did several shows at Masonic Temple. We was just warming up for the birthday show.
Oh wow!
And so he had an interview with Mojo, which is also a famous interview that he did with Mojo. So when like I said, when he came to Detroit, he loved to go to Belle Isle. It's a park. It's a park it sits out in the island on the water.
Okay.
Down Jefferson. So he loved to just go there and just clear his head and just ride around and look across to Canada over to Windsor. That was another one of his favorite things. So in my book, I just try to reflect on all the good things he did and what he loved to do. So, I don't vibe on negative energy.
Oh yeah.
That's not me. Stop the hate, be great. That's the whole thing. So the book, I was just trying to, just try to tell my story and his story, and let people see another side of him that no one ever seen.
Yeah.
His fun side. Because, that's when he was at his happiest moment when he did the parade tour.
Oh, yeah?
Believe it or not, I'm the reason why he switched over to suits.
Okay. Tell us more about that.
We was going to a Madonna concert. Brother wanted some slacks, and a shirt, a dress shirt. Because, if you notice, I was always in a suit and bow tie.
Yes.
Around him. So Chick said, well, hey, buddy, why don't you put on some suspenders and cut off shirt? I said, no, Chick, it looks good on you. So I let him do his thing and I did my thing. So Prince, he just said, okay. I went to the Beverly Center and got him some slacks and a nice Egyptian cotton shirt. That's when I introduced that to him. Because he loved the finer things in life. So plus he pretty. So cutting, I had to go get him some slacks. But the weird thing was about getting clothes for cousin is that he's a small waist. So men's pants started at 29.
Mm-hmm.
He had like a 26, 27 waist. So I had to get
Yep.
it altered and tailored. That was the beginning of the trend because, he had the ruffles up to that.
Right.
Up to
Yeah.
that point, baby, I'm a star, Purple Rain, all of that. So that was his transition to suits. Yes.
Which he didn't stick with a long time, because
Well,
then he went into the Sign of the Times stuff and started more
yeah,
like hippie kind of clothes, more
yeah, but
denim and stuff.
yeah, but then he went back to the suits.
He ended up going back to the
Yes,
suits,
yes,
like
sir.
in the 2000s and stuff.
Yeah,
He was wearing suits all the
yeah.
time.
Well, brother could wear any color.
Oh yeah.
Look good in it too. The blue, the golds. It didn't matter. White, black, Puerto Rican, everybody freaking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's what he did.
I usually end up asking everybody this question, but like,
Sure.
what was the reasoning behind like you guys, parting ways? Like, why did you end up not going on with him, past Love Sexy and into Batman and stuff?
Fat people ain't that sexy, so I didn't have no love or no sexy, so I understood that. Not no problem. I said thank you, sir, and good night. It's been a pleasure, and the pleasure was all mine.
Well, I mean, but was it just like hey man, we don't really need you anymore, or like was there anything going on there?
No, he just going another direction. And see, Aloy, by me working with other acts, I don't get caught up in the hype.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a job. You might get a pink slip, you might not. So, some people couldn't handle it emotionally, some could. I just went on back to Detroit, kept it moving.
Afterwards, did you guys still keep in contact and whatnot?
Oh yeah. We still saw each other when he came to town for concerts.
Did he ever invite you out to Paisley and whatnot?
Not to Paisley. I didn't really care to go back into Paisley. I bet you don't even know who the first person played in Paisley, do you?
No, I would assume Prince, but I bet it's not.
It wasn't him. It was Kool and the Gang.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, they was rehearsing when they built it spring of 86, 87. Yes, they was rehearsing for their tour.
Now, how well known is that? That is some trivia that you were only going to get here talking to Wally.
I got a lot of trivia.
So right now, your book just came out. It's only like a couple of weeks old at this point.
It came out on November the 12th.
November 12th. So yeah, yes. like 2-3 weeks old at this point.
Yes.
What is it like for you now being a published author, and you can now check off author on your resume now?
Well, I'm trying to be like you, Lord. I'm trying to be like Prince's friend. You are author, so I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to be like this. I'm trying to do like you. Put up a book. Don't meet me there. Beat me there.
And how has the response been to the book?
Oh man, it's been overwhelming, man. It's been like crazy. I just spoke my truths in this book. Nothing fake. What no negative energy is all positive energy. Give the fans something to look forward to. Talking about brother and talking about other people I worked with.
Yeah.
Parliament, Pendergrass, and the Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Commodores, and all of them people.
Yeah, I was going to say Earth, Wind, and Fire and Commodores didn't fit the P motif of the
like I said,
names.
the page would have been too full of it. So that's why that it was 3 P's.
Like that's an impressive resume. You know what I mean?
People say, "Hey, Wally, you the legend." Well, no, I'm just a humble servant.
Yeah.
But out of all the groups I worked with, Earth, Wind, and Fire probably my, next to Prince. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
They was the best band group, dual group ever ensemble put together.
Wow.
Because their music was all about love.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. I love them brothers to death, man. Verdine, Ralph Johnson, Philip Bailey, Maurice. God rest his soul in heaven. Yeah. Freddie White. Al McKay, Larry Dunn, Johnny Graham, Andrew Woodfolk, Don Myrick, Louis Shatterfield, Romley Michael Davis. Brother.
That's right. They had a big band too.
Oh yeah, they had the Phoenix horns, baby.
Oh yeah,
they had the horns. You ain't had no horns like that. Ask Phil Collins because he used them.
So if people want to pick up the book, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, they can pick the book up on Amazon.com. They can pick it up on Walmart. You can get it in 2 days, or you can go in the store and pick it up. So also, it's on Bold.com, which is in the Netherlands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
saw that you've been posting on Facebook, like, here's where you go buy it for Australia, and here's
right,
where you could
right,
buy it for all the different places.
right, right. So it's worldwide. And the love is felt from all around the world. So the good thing, I self-published this book.
Okay.
Yeah, that's self-published because Prince said, "Own your master, or your master will own you."
Oh
So I
yeah.
self-published the book. So Dr. Margina Christian, who helped me, who wrote the book, co-authored. So I mean, it was an excellent fit, with her, to do this book. I mean, I was in your neck of the woods in Tampa, Florida,
Oh yeah.
looking at some people, but it wasn't it wasn't the right fit. So
Right. But I mean, honestly, I'm just happy that you finally did, meet the right person to kind of like
right.
make this book a reality. I think that that's really awesome.
Yes, that's the most important thing. Just telling my truth. It's not sugar coated or watered down. It's my story.
Yeah.
It's a kid from off of 12th Street, Rosa Parks Boulevard. Prince took around the world in a day and back.
Yeah.
So
It's your story with a little bit of Prince in it.
absolutely. Well, hey. Like I said, he's the baker. He baking the bread. I just took it out the oven for him, put a little butter on it. But nothing but a muffin, had a whole lot of butter to go.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming
Yes,
on
sir.
Prince's Friend, man, and being here and
Come
talking
on,
with
man.
me.
I ain't got no problem coming on Prince's Friend. Lloyd, I love you, man, like a brother, man. Come on.
Definitely, man. Love you too.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. And thank you, everybody, for coming and watching and having fun with me and Wally.
And get the book. Don't meet me there, beat me there.
Definitely pick up the book.
Again, that's right.
I got it too.
Yeah, and we got it. We both got it.
Pick up the book. There's going to be a link in the description. And don't forget to follow Prince's Friend on social media. Check out the Patreon at patreon.com/Prince's Friend. And otherwise, may you live to see the dawn. See you guys later.
Peace, love, and hair grease.